everyone, this is The Big Fight and I'm Maria Shakil. The Grand Old Party has taken a huge gamble ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. It has decided that it will not attend the consecration ceremony of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. But the Congress isn't really united in its messaging of calling it a RSS-BJP event. There are many within the party, from Himachal Minister Vikramaditya Singh to Congress MLA from Gujarat Arjun Modwadia, who are of the opinion that staying away from the event is in fact a political call. But the Congress isn't alone in opposition. From Mamata Banerjee to Akhilesh Yadav, all have decided to not mark their attendance on 22nd of January, announcing it as a political project of the BJP in name of faith. The jury is still out if this move will benefit India bloc electorally. This, of course, has brought forth an avalanche of protests and condemnation from BJP leaders. From accusing the Congress of being anti-Hindu, the BJP even compared it to Ravan of Ramayana and released posters branding the entire opposition as anti-Sanatan. So the question that we ask on Big Fight is, with this move, has the Congress positioned itself as a party left of centre? And in a country where faith is at the core of its population, almost defining identities, is this move a political harakiri? Or is the Congress speaking for 11 crore voters who voted for it in 2019? Let me go straight to Patna, from where Ravi Shankar Prasad, former Union Minister and senior leader, is joining us live. Mr. Prasad, really appreciate your time. You have been a lawyer of Ram Lalla. As the day approaches and politics clearly takes center stage, how do you view Congress Party's stand that they have called it a political project of BJP RSS?
Well, the point is that it is a great day for the country. A unanimous verdict of 5 judges of the Supreme Court have said inter alia 3 things, and I would like your viewers to know about it. Number 1, the Muslim side could not furnish any evidence that they were in exclusive possession of the premises after the Babri Mosque was erected. The second, in spite of the erection of Babri Mosque, the faith of Hindus never dithered that this was the place of birth of Lord Ram, and they used to bend their head before the deity. There is ample evidence on record. And the third, the finding of the Archaeological Survey of India excavations clearly established that upon the ruins of a temple, this alleged mosque was erected. So with these 3 findings, the whole thing was conclusively settled. And remember, Maria, the Congress, the leftist historian, everyone was saying, where is the evidence? Go and get the matter established by the court. We won from the High Court, but I had the privilege to appear. In the Supreme Court I did not, because I was the law minister, others were appearing. And yet the same finding has come. In spite of this, if Congress party has a problem of doing politics, I will not care about the left or the RJDs or the others or the DMKs. But Maria, you have been an observer of India's politics. How Congress party has become marginalized. The overpowering craving for vote bank has withered the Congress from Bihar, UP and the entire Hindi Patti. Yet the same attitude remains. Be it Shabano, be it Triple Talaq, or be it Ram Janmabhoomi. Therefore, if they are going to, and see how much marginalized they have become in terms of number in the parliament, if they want to write their obituary, I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Talking specifically about this entire journey that you have seen as a lawyer, the highs and lows that you would have gone through, I want to understand from you, 22nd of January, that's going to be an epoch-making day. Can that be the day from where the majority and the minority can move beyond Ayodhya? Because of the fault lines that we have seen so deep in the past.
I would say I would have a different view. Majority of the Muslims also want amity. They know it is the place of birth of Lord Ram. They know Ram is divine for Hindus, and nay, the Muslims also in many cases. Therefore, they had no objection if a proper temple is erected. But the leaders, the saudagars of vote bank have created problem. You know it very well. And you may have seen that many Muslims were willing to say everything but not on record for fear of the radical elements. That's a hard fact. But with Ram Mandir becoming a reality through judicial process, it is a great moment, and it is a day of redemption, and also it is a day to move forward with strength.
Okay, let me do a quick recall for our viewers as to what really played out in the courtrooms. What was the Congress leaders' stand, or those who opposed the Ram Temple stand inside the courtrooms?
Obviously. Why in the courtroom, Maria? The appeal in Supreme Court came in 2009, and Ram Lalla was sitting in a tattered tent, and there was an order that nothing will be done, even in stitching a minor glitches in the tent without the approval of the Supreme Court. And we had to fight. And the Congress and the government lawyers were a stumbling block. Once I almost lost my temper. Lord Ram will remain under a tattered tent in this rainy season? Is it fair? There is a limit to our patience. I'm sorry to tell you this. But we have witnessed all this. Past is past. Today, by a very consensual judgment of unanimity, 5 judges, based upon evidence, the verdict is there, and today a grand temple is coming. It is a temple of redemption, temple of Lord Ram, temple of amity, temple of the unique divine place of Lord Ram in India, and the sacred character of Ayodhya. All is combined.
So when do you plan to actually visit Ram Temple, the temple that you call of redemption in Ayodhya?
I have been invited for the 22nd. I am going, and I want to tell you, Maria, I am very clear. I have been told that you are not being invited as a leader. I am being invited as a pleader of Lord Ram. Therefore, my capacity is known. And I said, yes, I am coming only in the capacity as a lawyer. But what is important is, see how inclusive is the representation which they have gone. They have invited all the political parties. Many of them declined. Even the Dome Raja from Kashi has been invited. Even the laborers who are working, they have been invited. And in the premises, a temple of Nishad Raja is coming. Maharishi Valmiki is coming. Mata Shabri is coming. Ram represented inclusive India, north, south, east, west, transcending beyond caste and communities. That's what this whole great temple in Ayodhya is going to become.
All right, Mr. Prasad, really appreciate your time. Let me go straight to Bengaluru now, where Veerappa Moily, former Chief Minister of Karnataka and senior Congress leader, is joining me live. Mr. Moily, how do you view your own party's decision of not going for the ceremony and declaring it as a BJP RSS event? Because there are many within the Congress who are of the opinion that the Congress should attend.
I think you should ask all the 4 Shankaracharyas why they are not attending. Because, the very function is, contrary to all the norms of the Veda, Upanishads, Smritis and everything. And you can't run the puja. After all, which panth, according to the Vedas and Upanishads and Smritis, the RSS belongs to. Do you have a panth? And, the righteous way of any of the Hindu way of life? No. It's not recognized. Shankaracharya is just like 4 pillars of the Hinduism. They protect the Hinduism. And what kind of Hinduism Modi propagates? Is it whether Modi can overrule all the ethics and also the edicts of all the Shankaracharyas in the country? That is a question you have to put. All your media people should direct all your antenna to the Shankaracharyas. And if they can say that, yes, we will attend, because it's a rightful way, And this is the right way to propagate Hinduism. And, yes, hats off to them. I don't think, they can persuade him to participate in this function. Because it is against the norms of all Hindu prerequisite fundamentals. And, don't ask the political people, because after all, we can't answer. You have to ask those people, who are the real founders, propagators, and perpetuators of Hinduism. Because I am also some sort of an authority on this, because I have written, 3 epic poems. One is, Ramayana Manveshanam, containing about 43,000 lines. Another is on Draupadi in the Mahabharata. Another is on, the Bahubali Ahimsa Digvijay. I think in a way, among the political tribe, and I can speak something on these things.
Okay, sir, do you think that this is a political event and not a religious function? I'm asking a more direct question here.
If it is a all-party event, I can understand. I think all of us should go. I don't think it is organized by all parties. It is done in the name of Hinduism, name of Hindus, and in the religion. Rama, whether it is not Rama, it is Modi. I think if the time comes to adore only Modi as against Rama, or Modi as against all the requisite the fundamentals of Hinduism, I can understand this. So it is not a religious function in that way. If it is a religious person, all these 4 Swamijis, Shankaracharyas would have joined. Do you see any of the the leaders of the Hinduism and who observe several paths of religion, or the Hinduism, or the Panths, they attend this? It's not their function. If it is their function, yes, all of us should go to this.
Okay, sir, will you be able to convince your voters?
I think your all antennas should turn on this, my basic question.
Okay. Mr. Molly, will you be able to convince your voters who may not view this no participation not really well? And in Karnataka alone, you got a significant percentage of votes. You have won the state of Karnataka only recently.
No. We owe all allegiance to the voters. We owe allegiance to all the fundamentals of the great India and its requisite. Because ultimately, here is the BJP or the RSS. They want to equate dharma to religion. Religion is, it is a foreign term, religion. Ours is a dharma. I know it is a question of, the individual dharma, Kautimbika dharma, family dharma, their village dharma, grama dharma. It's a dharma of the land. These are all the requisites of dharma. And equating dharma into a religion is really an antithesis in the religious world of this country. And they should understand. I think if they come for a lecture, the lesson with me, I will tell them what is dharma, what is not dharma. You remember when there was an episode in Gujarat, Sri Narendra Modi was the chief minister. Vajpayee said, Mr. Narendra Modi, observe Raja Dharma. That means that doesn't mean Raja religion. It's a certain duties cast upon any person, either as a family member, or a head of the family, or a head of a state, or head of a nation. There are requisite dharmas prescribed by Vedas, Upanishads, and all our epics. And if you don't observe that, and you contrary to that, the bad things will happen to this country. Suppose, they go ahead with this politicalizing the dharma of the land. Tomorrow people say that a ghost will come in. Instead of Rama entering the Rama Mandir, the ghost will enter the Rama Mandir, and there will be a lot of bad omens to the country. This is what when I consulted some of the Sanskrit scholars and anything, I am telling you that I was told that it can happen. It may augur evil to the country and the place, and not good. So we want Rama installation with a good omens so that the country can prosper. Ultimately, the interest of the entire nation is more important than the interest of one political party or one individual.
All right, Mr. Moily, really appreciate your time. Moving away from the newsmakers to the guests now. L. Humantaya is Congress MP. We have Tuhin Sinha here in the studio. Valay Singh is the author of Ayodhya, City of Faith, City of Discord. Sudhindra Kulkarni is author. Joining me on the show, Professor Geeta Bhatt here in the studio, political analyst, and Sajjan Kumar, political analyst. I'm going to move away from politicians and bring in the experts here first. And Valay, beginning with you. City of Discord, City of Faith. 22nd of January then should be about faith.
It should be totally, absolutely about faith, but it's not for me to, measure whether it is being conducted according to religious rituals and procedures or not. It is unfortunate for the BJP that the four Shankaracharyas have come out and said that this is not being done according to Dharma Shastras. And I also spoke to some Mahants and Acharyas, and they also concur. And they say that, firstly, a incomplete temple should not be inaugurated. Because, there will be more construction that will follow, and that will again pollute the place and so on. I think it should be totally about faith, but they could have waited for a few more months. We can all understand and interpret the urgency. But it could have been, we could have waited. We could have made it this completely inclusive, because Ram is about inclusivity and not in any sense any controversy or any exclusion. It's about inclusion. So I think it should have been about only faith, and this kind of politicization and controversy is good for politics. It's not good for faith.
Yes, but that's again on expected lines. Sudhindra Kulkarni, 22nd, as someone who has watched this entire Ram Temple movement very, very closely with the veterans of the BJP, how are you viewing, what is happening in the run-up to 22nd, 10 days to go? Mr. Kulkarni, if you can hear me.
Sorry, the line was bad. Could you please repeat your question?
Yes, my question is that as someone
who has... hear you.
Yes, as someone who has seen the entire Ram Temple movement, it is that culmination which is going to happen on 22nd of January. But as expected, it's politics which is preceding the consecration ceremony which will happen. How are you viewing the politics and the decision of these political parties of not attending the ceremony?
After a long movement, struggle, and after a lot of controversies, the Ram Temple is now a reality. Ram has always been a symbol of unity. Most Hindus regard him as an incarnation of God, but even non-Hindus have very high respect for him as an ideal king, Maryada Purushottam. Ram is a symbol of what I would call the idea of India, and therefore this is an occasion when all of India should come together. All sections of our society, all sections of our political establishment should come together and demonstrate the unity of India. Unfortunately, politics has once again played a divisive role. Now, some of the objections that the Congress has raised are valid. The temple construction has not been completed. The date of January 22, just a couple of months before the Lok Sabha election, raises suspicion that it is being done for the BJP to gain electoral advantage. But nevertheless, in spite of these, had the Congress party, while registering its objections, had the Congress party said that in the interest of unity, unity of the nation, and out of respect for Ram, we are participating in the consecration ceremony, the message would have been very positive. Right. And I think that even now, there are 10 days left, the Congress should reconsider its position, make its point very clear, all its objections very clear, but nevertheless, participate in the consecration ceremony.
Okay.
Similarly, if some Shankaracharyas and other people have some reasons, they should be listened to. After all, they are religious leaders, and let January 22, the consecration ceremony, demonstrate the magnificent unity of India and reconciliation.
Yes.
India needs reconciliation.
So,
reconciliation
can
between
that
Hindus and Muslims,
Professor
reconciliation
Geeta
between
Bhatt,
all,
be about
and
that
Ram is the best.
reconciliation point that is being spoken by Sudhindra Kulkarni, that you register the protest, you talk about it, being hijacked by the BJP, but why boycott? Make your point and still attend.
Well, Maria, 22nd of January is going to go down in the history of this nation as the day we reinstate our civilizational self-respect and pride after a long struggle of nearly 500 years. And while the people of this nation are rejoicing and all are Rammay, we see that Congress, it has denied an invitation which actually is an invitation of a lifetime for a large number of people. And this raises a question. The question is that, is it that the Congress is, because it is so much full of criticism for the Prime Minister and the BJP, is it that which is making them anti-temple, anti-Hindu, or is it that they have always had an anti-Hindu, anti-temple stand, because of which they are so critical of the Prime Minister and the BJP? In both the cases, they have been exposed that they are standing for appeasement politics. And the reason, if you give me time, I would like to put forth here, is that the invitation came to them 2 weeks before. And when the invitation came, Mr. Venugopal, in fact, thanked that, the Ramjan Tirth, that they trust that they have given an invitation. But why did it take them so long to take a decision of declining it? They could have declined it right there and then. It seems that it is very clear that they are the ones who are actually trying to politically weigh. It is not in no way, an ideological issue for them.
Yes, so it's a political calculation here, Sajjan Kumar, which is becoming clear. Because if you look at it, various stands of the Congress party in recent times has been about soft Hindutva push. So if they have taken so much time, so they had done the political calculation. Because, I was doing some research, and this is a very interesting data which came to me, which was essentially that in these elections, the 5 states which went to polls, a huge percentage, 4.92 crore Indians actually voted for the Congress. So they may have done some kind of survey, some kind of calculation before saying a no.
Maria, let me also add to that number, because I was also doing the field work. A majority of the voters who voted for Congress in the state assembly election, when we asked the question about which way they would vote in 2024, I'm saying majority of them said that they would vote for the BJP because they may be angry with the state BJP leadership and the leaders party, but certainly 2024 and Modi factor is still there. So that calculation, certainly, if the party has taken based on the outcome in the state assembly election, doesn't reflect the voter psychology for 2024. This is first. Second, mind it, any party, if you have to take a stand, because politics is a culmination of culture, society, economy, history, many popular sensibilities, then your approach should be to broaden your social base rather than alienating them. Shankaracharyas have their own procedural objections on the sanctity of rituals, etc. They objected on 5th August 2019 also, when Modi laid the foundation stone. That is there. But we have to recognize that from the perspective of the people, and lakhs of seers, Hindu seers, who are not strictly embedded to the ritual-based procedures, this is a moment which is going down into the history as a grand moment. And therefore, if you boycott it, you will be seen at par with those parties who are a part of India Alliance and have called Sanatan as a dengue. So how will Congress, in the popular memory, when BJP will accuse it of being at par with a party like DMK, which is openly hostile to all sensibilities of Hindus and Sanatan. And when Congress is boycotting, then this justification that since Shankaracharyas and rituals, all sort of things are there and therefore they are objecting.
So it was essentially that Congress was looking for issues. Mr. Humantaya, will you respond to that? That you were essentially looking for issues or reasons to boycott it. And you got that because of the Shankaracharyas raising concerns.
Today, the Congress, which decision taken already that we are not participating, is not a political decision. It is a decision which Congress ideology believes that religion and politics should not be mixed. I have an allegation that this function is purely a political function by the BJP. If it would have been a religious function uniting the nation, they have not done any attempt to do that. Point number one, they have not consulted at least the national parties to fix the time and do this. That is number one. Number two, they would have invited all political party leaders to participate openly, which they have not done. Afterwards, we have the courage to convince the voters that we differentiate the religion and politics. Religion should be personal, politics is our work.
So religion is personal, politics is for public. Yes. Let me bring in Tuhin Sinha here in the studio. Tuhin, the Congress took a stand.
You cannot mix,
you may agree or disagree with them,
things together.
But aren't you making it political by declaring them as anti-Sanatan? Because you have clubbed the entire India parties as one, released a poster and saying and gone ahead and said that they are anti-Sanatan. So it is clearly you are trying to make it a political event.
As I have mentioned before, the anti-Sanatan instincts of the present day Congress party is visible even otherwise. You don't have to, go by their stand on whether they're going to be present at the Pran Pratishtha or not. In the last 25 years, they have done everything possible to stall the Ram temple. In 2005, they denied the existence of Bhagwan Ram. They have, coined the term Hindu terror. So I don't think, we need to really go by what they're doing on 22nd Jan to decide whether they're anti-Sanatan or not. I am asking you a simple question. Can China dictate India's defense policy? No. Then how can Congress party, which has never stood for Ram temple after 1989, when in fact Rajiv Gandhi started his election campaign from Ayodhya, stating that he will make Ram Rajya, which again he did not believe in. That was his way of making amends for his blunder on the Shah Bano case. But at least in the last 25 years, the present-day Congress has never stood for Ram temple. So who are they to give sermons on whether it is the Pran Pratishtha is happening the right way, whether it is not happening the right way? I think, they have been in the process of manufacturing alibis and excuses. In 1951, when, Nehru persuaded Dr. Rajendra Prasad to not attend, when unsuccessfully he tried to persuade him from not attending the consecration of Somnath temple, the reasons were different. Today, the reasons are different.
Okay.
But
so you were looking for alibis, Mr. Humantaya, that is the charge coming from the BJP. You're looking for alibis. And what Mr. Sudhindra Kulkarni said, that you could have raised all your concerns and still gone ahead and said it. So that would have been a moment of unification.
No, that is Sudhindra Kulkarniji's opinion. But as Congress party, what decision they have taken at the apex level is absolutely right. I have consulted a lot of people who are the sympathizers of Congress party, who have been observing these political developments in the country. They say the Congress has taken a right decision. No Mrudu Hindutva. You should not mix your Hindutva into your politics. You make politics on issues of price rise, issues of people's problems. That is the politics you have to do. That is the direction we have been given, and we will follow that. We will never mix this. We will never go to the people for votes in the name of Rama.
Sir,
we will never
only recently, the Madhya Pradesh Congress in the run-up to elections,
in the name of these kind of fake.
In the run-up to elections, the Madhya Pradesh Congress had spoken about reciting Hanuman Chalisa. So you were on that path. You have been on that path. Then how is this different?
In Karnataka, when Modi ji came here, and he said Jai Bajrangbali. People did not vote for him. We did not say that. But in Madhya Pradesh, there may be some narrative like that. In Chhattisgarh, there may be a different narrative. But in its ideology, Congress believes politics and religion are two different things.
Okay, politics and religion are different things.
We should not go to the people in the name of religion for vote.
Go ahead, and then I bring in Vale.
Simple question
That
is,
is the
does the
ideology of the
Congress
Congress.
party have an ideology? You know, DK Shiv Kumar has asserted that the Pran Pratishtha will be telecast live from all temples of Karnataka. Is Hanumanta Raoji going to oppose DK Shiv Kumar? Simple question to him. The Congress does not have an ideology. You know, sometimes it is this side, sometimes it is that side. This monkey balancing, unfortunately, does not work with the people of this country anymore. They can see through your duplicity.
Yes.
I just wanted to add what Tuhinji is saying is, you know, very interestingly, 2019, Congress had won 52, seats. And out of which 15 seats were from Kerala. Now, it is very interesting to note that their alliance partners, Congress's alliance partner, IUML, Muslim League, they have already been giving them feelers ever since this invite had come for the Ram temple Pran Pratishtha, that they are not their, organizations which are related to IUML. They have been writing and telling that the Congress is going to be just being a poorer cousin of BJP if they are going to go for the temple consecration.
Yes.
And also to keep in mind that Mr. Rahul Gandhi's constituency, Wayanad, has a very strong, number of Muslim population. IUML is a very important ally for Congress in Kerala, where they got almost 15 seats.
So is this appeasement then, Vale?
There is.
So, I mean, this is very political, and I am not representing any party, but I will have, I have this to say. That it has become a test of who is a Hindu, who is not a Hindu, of going for this inauguration. That is very unfortunate. People can go later, people can go earlier. So all this is politics. But let's remind ourselves that this temple is being built through a Supreme Court order. That Supreme Court order clearly said that there is no evidence to say that, Babur, the Ram temple, there was a temple or it was destroyed on the orders of Babur. Now, why am I mentioning it? I'm mentioning this because there has been a vilification of the Muslim community through these decades because of this issue. Now, here is a moment for the BJP, the VHP, the RSS and their friends and family and etc. to correct this narrative. Let us stop vilifying a community. Now, this is a great moment. It's a great moment of national unity. Everybody is saying it. I agree. Let us display it, demonstrate it. One more point. The Places of Worship Act. We are going to move forward, right? We don't want to move backward. Mr. Prasad said amity. So how do you create that amity and the mahal for that amity? Let this be a moment for people from the highest position say that the Places of Worship Act will not be tinkered, touched with. And therefore, there will be no such threat of a Ayodhya-like situation in either Kashi or in Mathura or anywhere else. Demonstrate that this is a moment of national unity. And finally, if in Ayodhya itself, there's a lot of land grab happening, there's a lot of encroachment happening. Ayodhya, if you know, is a place that is full of Muslims and Muslim properties and so on. So let us assure everyone, and you can't just do that in TV discussions. It has to come from the highest position.
Okay. Sudhindra Kulkarni, talking specifically about the messaging that can come from that day. In the run-up, we are seeing politics, but 22nd, of course, is going to be that moment. It's that cusp on which the entire country is sitting.
January, when the consecration of the temple happens, is indeed a historic day. It's a day to be celebrated. But let us do it in the true Hindu spirit, not bring politics into it. For example, to call those who are not attending or those who have declined the invitation as anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan, and some people even go to the extent of saying that those who are not with the government are anti-national. This is very unfortunate. Unfortunately, this kind of narrative has gone on for too long in the past 8, 9, 10 years. Hinduism is a very tolerant religion, a very liberal religion in which even atheists can be Hindus. So therefore, let us strengthen the spirit of tolerance, of mutual respect. You know what Mahatma Gandhi said about Ram Rajya? He said Ram Rajya, the essence of Ram Rajya is respect for all faiths and respect for all the people professing those faiths. Now, India is a multi-religious country. At least now, after all these controversies and a history of bloodshed, you know, we have seen so much bloodshed in the 80s and 90s. There were terror attacks also in the name of, in the wake of all that happened. So, I would like to repeat what I said earlier. The consecration of the Ram temple is an occasion for national reconciliation, national unity. Let's not vilify the Muslim community. Rather, let's win over the Muslim community. Similarly, the Muslim community also should introspect. They were misled by their leaders in opposing the Hindu demand, a legitimate Hindu demand for a temple at Ram Janmabhoomi. Now all that is past. The past is past. Let's open a new chapter in our national life of unity, of harmony, which is the responsibility of all political parties and responsibility of leaders of all the religious communities.
Okay, so then in that case, will Congress do its part? Mr. Hanumantaya, beginning with you and then I'll bring in Tuhin.
See, again, I wanted to just repeat my earlier sentence of saying, those who participate in Ramalalla Pratishthan in Ayodhya on January 22nd are good Hindus. Those who does not participate, they are called bad Hindus. This narrative is very, very, very dangerous.
I think it's about bad politicians and good politicians. That's what you're saying. Or are you saying good Hindus and bad Hindus?
No, that is not the
who's
issue.
vilifying Muslims, one of the...
Good Hindu. And even I can be, see, I come from the land of Basavanna, which I repeated earlier. He said, you have a temple in your body. You are the God and your work is God. That is what our great Basavanna said.
One of the charges which...
And you cannot call me, you are not a Hindu just because you are not going to a temple. I need not go to a temple to become an Hindu. That is very, very important.
Yes.
These narratives has to be followed and has to be respected. This is what our constitution given to all the citizens of this country.
Absolutely, that is the point of respect.
Yes,
and that is why that is the day of respect.
Practicing any dharma is not your political end. That should not be your political
in fact,
narrative.
That is the day of respect, that is the day of reconciliation, and that is why
and we should go
that is why one of the first persons to receive the invite was Iqbal Ansari, who was a litigant on the other side. If he can evolve, if he can, make peace with the situation, why does the Congress have to pretend to be a greater Muslim than the Muslim community itself? That's a simple question we are asking. Stop this pretense.
No,
you may have a penchant to be wanting to be seen on the wrong side of history. You can continue with your self-destructive speech. That's your choice.
It is not so.
But don't give sermons to the country about equality, about, that doesn't behove the Congress party today.
Okay, since there is a silence
just
on this
because
moment.
We are not participating in the Ramalalla function, that you cannot call me that you are making appeasement politics. That doesn't arise here.
Okay,
I am
the
not
question
taking
then
a
is
stand
Sajjan
on
Kumar
anything
and
because
then the final was
BJP is practicing a partition
Professor
policy.
Geeta.
BJP and
Sajjan,
its allies are practicing.
Sajjan, do you think what is missing here is if the opposition has decided that they will not attend, the India bloc parties have decided that they will not attend, it has to be like a united messaging. Do you think the problem here which is arising particularly in the Congress is that many within the party, like likes of Mr. Modwadia and the Himachal minister, they are themselves saying that it's a matter of faith, absence will send a wrong message. Do you think that is a bigger concern here? Because there is dissent from within.
Maria, it seems that Congress party is being hijacked by a set of leaders and advisors who are not listening, forget let alone the people, even to their own kind of regional kshatrapes, etc. Because if you talk to rank and file and on the common state level leadership, certainly a part of religiosity is something that they believe in and they have a kind of reverence to. So certainly it is a small elite at the top who has encircled and hijacked the party, and it is going against even the wishes of their own leader. Congress or any party could have said that it is up to the individual leader to attend or not to attend, rather than, gagging everyone and trying to, issue a whip kind of a scenario. This is one. Because as was pointed out, if Iqbal Ansari, the original litigant for the Babri Mosque, is attending it, when you go on the ground, you do not find that Muslim community is feeling alienated. Boycotting is an act of politicizing the issue. Of course, a party is going to be the beneficiary, that is BJP, that is one, and it is just one of the part of one election. But in the long way, if you want to get past Ayodhya, remember, if Rajiv Gandhi could send his Home Minister Bhutta Singh to attend the foundation day ceremony in 1989, what prevents Congress to at least say that it is up to the leaders to go there, they welcome it, and they could have given some sort of messaging wherein BJP would not have got the leverage to club them with parties like DMK who are openly hostile to the Hindu sentiment.
That moment, Wale, because you have spent time in Ayodhya for writing the book.
Yes.
Has that moment come where the parties can move beyond Ayodhya?
But how can we say that when the BJP has decided to hold this inauguration just 1.5-2 months before elections? So the unfortunate thing is electioneering and vote, it's still very much an issue for them. So when will we start seeing Ayodhya becoming a non-issue? I think that is something like really
so basically,
in a distant future. I can't see it happening.
Professor Geeta, but final words to you. So the road to Delhi now is clear, and it will be through Ayodhya. And post 22nd, there are many parties which will be facing the charge of being anti-Sanatan, as you have, as the BJP has already declared the India bloc parties. But electorally speaking, it's advantage one bloc. The BJP has the momentum right now because of G20. They managed to make it a gala event, followed by these 3 states which have been won, and now Ram Temple. The bigger concern is the Congress or opposition really committing a political harakiri? Because if they had attended also, then it would have been a political mistake.
Well, Maria, Mr. Jairam Ramesh's letter, where he wrote that, the 3 political leaders who have been invited from Congress, including Sonia Gandhi ji, they are not going to attend the event. It very clear, it just did not say that they declined the invitation. It very well gave a reason for declining it, saying that religion is a personal matter and that BJP, RSS are making it more of a political agenda. And vis-a-vis try to, compare this with a letter when the canonization of Mother Teresa was done by the Pope, and at that time when a letter was written from the Congress party where Mrs. Sonia Gandhi expressed that had she not been unwell, she would have been personally there to attend it, and saying that 2 of the representatives, one of them was Margaret Alva and one more person, would be attending the event. I mean, just you look at the contrast, the way the response has been there of the Congress party on these 2 occasions. But please let me. Now, so this is what is now he's making it political. So this is it is trying to take it politically. So why it is of course very much comparable.
Pope is not fighting elections
why
in
is
India?
it
that
is the reason that it is not it is not an ideological issue for the Congress party. It has been where BJP had stood with the Ram Temple issue through thick and thin, losing governments, 4 state governments. Mr. Narasimha Rao had dismissed the government.
No, but if the Congress would have attended, would have decided to attend, then it would not have really benefited it in any ways, politically speaking or narrative wise, because anyways it will be seen as an event of the BJP, Tuhin.
No, see, I leave it to you to decide who's going to make it who's making it political. On the one hand, you have BJP, which in June 1989 adopted a very clear, resolution in its adhivesan at Palampur that we are going to support the Ram temple construction steadfastly. And for the next 35 years, in fact, matters got expedited in court only after the formation of a BJP government in 2017 in Uttar Pradesh. So, on the one hand, you have BJP, which has been very clear in its support. On the other hand, you had a Congress party which, for electoral dividends, suddenly in 1989 supported the construction, sent its home minister to Ayodhya. But from 1998 onwards, when the new age Gandhi took over the party,
we'll be coming back and continuing the conversation. So stay with us. And joining me from Sydney is now Salvatore Baboons. He is American sociologist and professor at University of Sydney. Professor Baboons, really appreciate your time. India certainly is sitting on a cusp. What do you think will change on 22nd of January when the consecration ceremony actually happens in Ayodhya?
I think you had said exactly the right word, which is this is an important milestone for India's sociology, not a milestone for India's politics. The real change here is sociological. This kind of completes the transition of India from being a country molded in a Nehruvian vision for democracy to a country, let's face it, molded in an RSS and VHP vision of democracy. Now, I know that a lot of people would be very upset to hear that, but the fact is both are visions of democracy. It's not a matter of one is democracy, one is autocracy or authoritarianism. I think that kind of dichotomy is ridiculous. But I think we should recognize that these are different visions of democracy and different ways that people think about what their country means to them.
Yes, but Professor Baboons, because there have been fault lines which have been almost integral or part of the Ayodhya narrative. Do you see those melt in Ayodhya? Or merge, if I may use that word?
No, I mean, what's really going to happen here is that the RSS and through the RSS, the BJP, has really accomplished its main goals as an opposition party. Now, it may sound ridiculous to talk about the BJP as having been an opposition party for the last 10 years, but socially speaking, it's behaved as an opposition party. Even as it has been in power, even as it has governed the country, it's had the mindset of an opposition party opposing India's establishment. I think now, after January 22nd, the BJP will have to sit back and look at things. The whole RSS will have to sit back and look at things and realize, well, we're the establishment now. They've accomplished their core goals that they've been working on, well, really for 100 years now. Having accomplished those core goals, really they now have to start thinking about moving forward. What is the next step? What does the future mean for political Hinduism? What does the future mean for the BJP if it no longer can cast itself as this scrappy opponent of the establishment trying to attain this recognition for the organized Hindu faith in Indian politics? I think now it simply has to accept that it represents the establishment, and frankly, the Congress is now the leader of the anti-establishment movement in Indian politics.
Okay, so if it is about political Hinduism, then would you then agree with the decision of India's grand old party that they will not be attending the ceremony?
Obviously, it's their choice to boycott the event. Personally, I think it's a politically ill-advised choice in that the Congress really should be seeing itself as a national party. And if it wants to be a national party and remain a national party, and let's be honest, whatever its electoral performance in the last two elections, it's still getting 20% of the vote. How that translates into Lok Sabha seats depends on the complex arithmetic of multi-party democracy. But it still is a national party with a national voter base. And to remain a national party with a national voter base, of course, it has to pay respect to India's majority religion in the same way that I am certain that the Congress would pay respect to minority religions in India. It certainly should be there from an electoral standpoint. However, from a messaging standpoint or from a symbolic standpoint, its resistance to appear, its reluctance to appear, reflects exactly what I've said, that Congress is no longer the establishment in India. Now, Indians may think, Salvatore, that's we don't need you to tell us that, but I really think this is a symbolic moment psychologically for both the Congress, well, certainly for the BJP, and ultimately for the Congress. It now has to behave as the national challenger. And I suspect electorally, as the national challenger, being there, showing respect, protesting obviously the BJP where it needs to, but nonetheless being part of this ritual simply because it's an important ritual for so many Indians, not because it aligns with any particular ideology.
So if religiosity is the focal point, then one may argue that parties who are not going to attend or who have decided to boycott will face some kind of electoral backlash?
Other people are much better positioned to comment on that than I am. I'd just like to hopefully clarify things for viewers and clarify things by pointing out to them that this Ram Mandir opening is not a political event. It's how that event is seen by the Congress. It may even be how the event is seen by the BJP. But for Indians, my very strong impression is that this is viewed as a religious event, not as a political event. And that's why Congress really should be at the event. They should be there even though they know that the BJP is trying to score political points from it. They should be there to show their respect to the Hindu faith and to their believers who they want as voters. They don't have to kowtow in any way to the BJP by simply being present.
All right, Professor Salvatore, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the guests who would join me on The Big Fight. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you with another episode of The Big Fight next week. Thanks so much for watching.